Hello everyone, welcome to this amazing workshop about keeping safe at work, understanding health and safety laws in Ontario with a main focus on violence. Today, I would like to talk about something really important, staying safe at work, and especially how to deal when there is violence in our workplace. Whether it's a part-time job after school or a summer gig, knowing how to keep safe is crucial. We're going to look at the laws in Ontario that help protect us from getting hurt at work, especially from violence. I will also explain what different people in a workplace, like your boss, supervisors, and you, need to do to keep things safe. In the first place, I would like to put you in a context. Understanding health and safety laws in Ontario. In Ontario, we have something called the Occupational Health and Safety Act, OHSA. Think of it as a rule book that helps make sure everyone at work is really safe. This law says that everyone at the workplace has a role in keeping it safe, from the big bosses to the new hires. There are some key parts of the law. The first one is employer's duties. But who are the employers? Employers is the person or the people or company you are actually working for. They need to make sure the workplace is safe. But what they have to do? In the first place, they have to tell you about any dangers at work. In second hand, show you how to do your job safely. And then create rules to keep everyone safe and review them every year. In second place, there's also a really important topic that is the workplace violence and harassment. In 2010, Ontario added extra rules to the OHSA to deal specifically with violence and harassment at work. This means, pay attention to this. In the first place, that employers must have a policy on workplace violence and harassment. This is like a plan for how to handle it if it happens. In the second place, they need to check the workplace to find out if there are any risk of violence and figure out how to fix them. And the last one, they have to train everyone on what to do if violence happens at work. So, recognize, check, and train. But maybe you are asking yourself, what is exactly workplace violence? So, I would like to divide the workplace violence in three different portions. The first one would be physical. If someone hits, pushes, or hurts you physically, that's a physical violence. The second one is threats. If someone threatens to hurt you, that's also violence. And the third one is harassment. That means that someone keeps bothering you or making you feel unsafe. Now, let's check the roles in keeping safe. The first role is the role for the HR professionals. That are the people who work in human resources. That's what we are studying currently. So, they are like the workplace safety coaches. They make the rules about safety. As we learn in class, they make sure everyone knows these rules. And they also has to investigate if something bad happens. Then we have the employers, the bosses. They need to show they care about safety and follow the rules. They have to give resources to make the workplace safe, like training and safety equipment. And they must make it easy for you to report any kind of violence or harassment as well. Then we also have the supervisors, your direct manager. They watch over your work area to make sure it's safe. They support you if you have a problem. They ensure everyone follows the safety rules. And then, but not less important, you, as an employee. What do you have to do? You need to know the safety rules and follow them. You need to report anything that seems unsafe or any kind of violence you are experiencing or you see in other person. Help keep the workplace safe by being respectful and supporting each other. However, I really would like to use examples to better understand this important topic. Let's talk about the first one, which is the verbal abuse. The verbal abuse. Imagine a coworker keeps yelling at you and making you feel scared. You should report this to your supervisor or HR because that kind of verbal abuse is violence. Also, there is physical assault. If someone at work tries to hit you, this is serious and needs to be reported immediately. And we also have something called the threats. If someone says they are going to hurt you because of a disagreement, that's a threat and it should be reported immediately as well to the HR department. Let's talk about the next questions that are very interesting and we could talk about. The first one is, how can you help keep your workplace safe? What would you do to keep your workplace in a safe manner? Second, if you saw someone being treated badly at work or experiencing any kind of violence, what would you do? Would you keep in silence? Would you report that to HR or your manager? And the third one is, what is important for everyone to know the safety rules against violence?
No worker should be subject to violence or harassment in the workplace, but unfortunately, many are. Workplace violence is prevalent across many industries and takes various forms. It includes any act that causes physical injury, that could cause a physical injury, or even threatening to commit an act that could cause physical injury. You don't need to actually be hurt to be a victim of workplace violence. Even shoving or pushing is considered workplace violence. Violence in the workplace is a broad topic that also includes harassment. This includes any type of inappropriate comment, including swearing, verbal abuse, bullying, or sexual comments, as well as rumors, sabotaging, and pranks. You might think something you say or do is a funny joke, but in fact, it may constitute workplace harassment. Workplace violence and harassment can come from many different places, including an external perpetrator where the individual has no relationship to the worker or the company, a client or customer of the organization, an internal perpetrator such as a coworker, boss, or someone with an existing business relationship with the organization, or domestic violence, which occurs when the violent person has a personal relationship with the employee. Fortunately, there are many things that you can do to play your part in reducing violence and harassment at work. Review and understand your employer's violence prevention program. This will help you clearly understand what is considered workplace violence and what to do if you are a victim or a witness. Report all incidents of workplace violence, including threats of violence, harassment, instances where an injury did not occur, and instances where the violence was unintentional, such as a patient having a bad reaction to a medication. This information is very valuable to your employer in ensuring a safe workplace. And don't worry, occupational health and safety legislation protects you from being fired or reprimanded for reporting. Know what to do in an emergency situation. You should feel confident in your abilities to respond appropriately in the event of a crisis. What do you do if there is a bomb threat, an active shooter, a dangerously aggressive client? Although extreme situations are unlikely, they can happen and you need to be prepared. Know your rights. Under most jurisdictions' Occupational Health and Safety Act, a worker can refuse to work if they have reason to believe they may be endangered by workplace violence. However, work cannot be refused on the grounds of workplace harassment. For more safety tip videos, visit www.cos-mag.com. For Canadian Occupational Safety, I'm Amanda Siliker.
Welcome back to my workshop, this time from home. After reviewing the whole important information from my end, and after watching this important video that it's summarizing the most important tips about violence in our workplace, I really hope this information is really important for you, and the most it's helpful, and it will help you just in case that you have one of those situations, so you can know if the violence is happening on your workplace, or you can help each other, you can help other people. Thank you very much for being here in this workshop, and see you in our next delivery. Thank you very much. Have a good night.